All right, well, I got the bug out of storage, and the first thing I noticed that needs to be fixed is that right there. That should be on. So let's open it up, and I'm assuming it's just a burnt out bulb, but let's look into it. Oh, first thing I'm gonna do is turn the power off on the car. All right, we'll open up just I think a number 2 Phillips, and then very minimum setting because I assume all the plastic is brittle, and there's no reason to torque anything down. So it's just 4 screws. That should slide right off. There we go. So the bulb in question is this guy right here on the right hand side. And it actually doesn't look burnt out at all. I'm just going to assume it's still good. Let me grab it with a rag here because you don't want to be getting any oils of any kind. Will make the bulb not last as long. Now to me that still looks just fine. You can still see the filament in there. So let's see why this is not on. Maybe we'll get lucky and it's something super simple. And the terminals all look okay in there. There's no corrosion or anything like that. Now it does feel a little loose when I put it in there. Oh, okay, there it tightened down. So you have to push and turn, and I didn't find a spot where it clicked, but there's definitely a spot where it got tight. So I just left it there. Let's turn the car back on and see what happens. Huh. I think the entire socket that it turns into has kind of dislodged a little bit and gotten loose. So this is more complicated than just a burnt out or loose bulb. So it looks like we're going to have to take this whole thing off here. So it's got 4, looks like 3 bolts and 1 screw. So that must have been replaced at some point. Okay, before I take the whole thing apart, I'm going to see if I can just take the plastic little tab housing and pull it up into place and kind of get it to seat. Okay, that was incredibly easy. There's a little round disc with a couple of tabs that stick out. I kind of grabbed it in the middle and pulled it forward, and I heard it click into place. So let's try putting the bulb back in. Nope. Okay, so there are 4 nuts that I have to grab on the back side. It looks like they are 5/16, and the heads of the bolts are being held by the housing here, so I just have to reach up in here and back off all of those nuts. Okay, that was way more trouble than I thought it would be. Let's take a look. All right, I just have to come closer to see this. Yep, I don't even want to start looking into this duct tape situation, but you can see right here, this is not seated correctly. So that's where our problem lies. It looks like it might just be able to pop back into place. Although, I think if I open up these fins first, maybe put a screwdriver in there, open the fins up, put this back, and then crimp them shut. Well, I managed to break one tab off, so we're not having the best of luck here. We'll figure something out. So this needs to be seated down in there. Okay, so I got the top one seated. The bottom one, I'm just gonna put a dab of glue on there and hope that that works. Also, one of our gaskets fell out, so I have to put that back. Okay, I'm gonna put a little bit of hot glue on there and see how this goes. Let's try to fill in on both sides to keep things seated. Before I reassemble everything, I'm gonna put the bulb in there and test it. Okay, that looks good. And it felt very sturdy, so fingers crossed. Let's turn the lights on and see what happens. What about there? Okay. Well, for starters, it's upside down. Now I'm stumped. Okay, it's been a minute, but I started chasing it around and I took the other one off and that one wasn't coming on either. So I spent a while just trying things. I turned the car on to see if the car needed to be running, but I don't remember that being a problem. Anyway, it's been 10 minutes or so and I've been poking around a lot, and I think I had it fixed a while ago, maybe from the first point when I pulled that guy forward. There was a blown fuse. So I replaced the fuse, light came right back on. So I think I actually fixed it initially when I reached in with the pliers and pulled the little thing back into place. It wasn't seated very well, but it would have been good enough. Now it's seated better with the hot glue, if you want to call that a fix. It's a Band-Aid. But put a new fuse in there. Ta-da! So there it is. I'm gonna go ahead and put everything back together, but yeah, it was a little more complicated than just a burnt out bulb. So I'm gonna get everything put back together. All right, I got the housing back in place. Now I'm just gonna put the caps back on. And remember, if you're using a power tool, dial it way down. Well, again, this was more complicated than I thought it would be. But let's do one final check to make sure everything works. So we'll see the reverse lights come on and then the driving light. I'll also do the brake light, why not? Yep, now the brake light. And again, that was more complicated than I thought it would be, and I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of grief from, because I used hot glue. You got to pick your battles. It's this. I wanted a quick fix. This ended up being a little more than that. I'm sure I'm going to be digging in here some other time here in the next year, and I can tackle some stuff then. But today I just wanted to get this fixed and get it put back together, and sometimes a Band-Aid is all you need. But hey, the light's on, so we'll count that as a win. Yeah, a lot more complicated than just a burnt out bulb.